like this? An offer of peace from Saudi Arabia, Syria, Lebanon, Egypt, Iraq?
Israel should just carve up its homeland and keep a few choice cuts for herself? Is that what you're recommending?
As much as you might not like it, Israel needs to reach a peace agreement. Okay, the Americans, the EU, the Russians have all made it clear that if Israel walks away from this, then they're on their own.
In the mosques, it is said that a true Muslim must never recognize Israel. Jerusalem will be the price for peace.
Why are you in the States?
Because there are biblical prophecies coming true, Eve, just as they have in the past. I want you to see that your salvation is at stake, and that Jesus is your only path to heaven.
I really need to go.
Eve.
So what do you make of it?
It's from the book of Revelation.
As in the good book?
From my count, it's his 6th time through it.
Impressive.
Timely fades when she is shaken of a mighty wind.
Water? All right, who do we have here? John Doe. Killing a man, firing a gun at a federal agent several times. Diving out a window. Impressive for a ghost. The question is, you just a hitman? I don't think so. How do you know Rockwell? He rip you off? Was he gonna tell me something you didn't want me to know? Rockwell mentioned 7 wonders. You know anything about that, mystery man?
And I saw a new heaven and a new earth. For the first heaven and the first earth were passed away. There is a revolution coming.
Revolution, huh?
A revolution of God.
Oh. Well, I don't have anything like that in my file.
Actually, Mr. Tanner, I have a few questions for you before you leave. Hello, Shane.
Eve.
Well, this day just keeps getting better and better.
Shalom Aleichem, ladies and gentlemen. It seems after 3 days of negotiations, the world cannot agree on anything except that Israel should give a part of her land in exchange for peace. We are very much back to where we started many years ago. Israel gave up land for peace in 1948. Israel gave land for peace with Egypt during the Reagan administration. Israel gave Lebanon for peace and got Hezbollah. She gave Gaza for peace and got the terrorist group Hamas. Israel, the only nation created by a direct and sovereign act of God over 3,500 years ago, has no more land to give. No more to give. In lano od latet. Mafi annanati.
The weather situation is much worse across the country. 26 deaths are being blamed on this cold snap, and it's expected to continue for at least another 3 days.
So, have there been enough concessions for the American peace talks to move forward.
Yes, Israel is willing to move ahead. Fortunately, Dawn, there are those who believe that these talks should never happen.
Nick Tanner. He's a spook.
Really? When'd you get into town? Didn't even know you were here.
Well, you're on a need-to-know basis, and you didn't need to know.
Counter intel has changed you a little bit, huh? Put a little fire in your belly? Good for you.
I've always had the fire, Shane. I just choose to use logic and evidence to make decisions about my cases. You know, one of us had to make a move, and luckily, I was still able to.
Still angry about our little mishap?
Our little mishap? Are you kidding me? You emptied 500 people into the streets in the middle of a monsoon on a hunch. You made me look like a complete rookie, and you nearly ruined my career. So forgive me if I'm still a little angry.
So I can just come back for those later, ma'am.
Yeah.
It was a good tip, Eve.
No, Shane, it was a bad tip. But mostly just a hunch. And it's never your fault.
You know what? Believe whatever you want. No one could ever tell you anything different anyway. Right? You're perfect. Especially now that you're sporting a new logo on your badge.
Oh, you have some nerve, Shane.
You and your counter intel friends ever hear of an operation called Seven Wonders?
No. What is it?
I'm not sure. I was about to find out from Rockwell when your friend here put him down. You know who he's working for?
We have our suspicions. You get anything out of him before he,
No. No, just a bunch of biblical nonsense. Quote from the book of Revelation. Said something about the revolution of God. You know anything about that?
Heard of it, but nothing concrete. Do you have any other information or leads to share with me before I have a talk with him?
Maybe. Why don't you let him cool off for a little while? Still like Washington? Those are ammo crates. How long have they been there?
Karim!
Agent Reardon.
You are much more beautiful than he described. You must stay for my world-famous borscht. How are you, my friend?
I received a call.
Arlen Rockwell.
Yeah. How do you know him?
Let us just say we have mutual respect for one another. How is he?
Dead.
Then this coffee should be vodka.
Why was he killed?
I cannot help you this time.
Can't or won't? What's 7 wonders?
We are capable of greatness, Mr. Daltrey. The music of Beethoven, the words of Pushkin, the brushstrokes of Rembrandt. But not all genius ends up in beauty. There is myth that Russia has created nuclear bombs that a single person can deploy and detonate. A Russian scientist working with Iran has created truth out of this myth.
Are you telling me that Rockwell smuggled nuclear weapons into the United States?
7 of them.
7 wonders.
Suitcase nukes.
Do you know what would happen to cities that are hit by these bombs? Hundreds of thousands of people will die instantly. Their flesh will literally melt off their bodies. But the real strategic purpose is the ultimate chaos that will result from such attack.
The attack itself is not the sole purpose.
No, Mr. Daltrey. The sole purpose is disruption of American government and financial institutions.
A distraction.
The America you know will be part of history and unable to protect its friends.
What friends?
Israel. Do you know the 2 Russian fleets are steaming for exercises in the Persian Gulf?
Is this Russian intelligence?
They cannot exactly say they are going to blockade the Straits of Hormuz, but they are moving the muscle to do it. Why is it that America always thinks that we are center of attention, when what we're dealing with here is a new world order?
There's no information in our files that this would be nukes.
What files?
How could that have gotten past us?
Tell me what's going on, Eve. All right. What are you not telling me? Get me up to speed now or get out of my truck.
Matthew Dean is a CIA operative we've been investigating. Nick and Dean have been in communication for the last several weeks. We believe that they are working together on a major operation.
What, the nukes?
We have information that the CIA has been investigating certain biblical or apocalyptic events.
Whoa. Are you kidding me?
I haven't been able to wrap my head around it either, but apparently recent world events have been fitting right into what is known as the Ezekiel War scenario.
What is the Ezekiel War scenario? Eve?
According to the Hebrew prophet Ezekiel, in the last days, the people of Persia, which is of course Iran, and the people of Gog or Rosh, which many believe to be Russia, form an alliance whose main purpose is to obliterate Israel.
I'm gonna go talk to your spook.
Yes?
Your brother was picked up. FBI agent Shane Daughtry.
How would you like me to proceed?
Clean the house, starting with the sister's bedroom. You'll have company. See that they are attended to.
Copy that.
Agent Reardon.
Apparently, your assassin has a sister. She's in Baltimore, and she may know about his cause. Sheila.
You better not be interfering with this investigation.
There are forces at work here that you refuse to acknowledge and continue to ignore. Like it or not, Eve, you need my help.
Send me the address. Nick has a sister. I have to go to Baltimore.
I'll handle things with Nick. Nick, you didn't tell us he had a sister. 2 agents are on their way right now to pick her up.